Okay guys, so in this video we're going to talk about autosomal dominant inheritance. So this is one of the pattern of inheritance yang you boleh nampak from when you analyze a pedigree. So on this slide, this is a pedigree, a type of pedigree. Before we go further into autosomal dominant, let's talk about the possible types or modes of inheritance yang ada. There are 5 major types of inheritance. We have this one, autosomal dominant, and then we have autosomal recessive, and then we have X-linked dominant, and then we have X-linked recessive, and then last one we have Y-linked inheritance. So we will look into these 4 modes of inheritance one by one, starting with the autosomal dominant inheritance. Y-linked is something that we will not look into in this lesson. Okay. Now, what is autosomal? So autosomal means these are genes or these are chromosomes that are not the sex chromosomes. Okay, so you know sex chromosome, kita ada X chromosome and then we have Y chromosome. So this can be chromosomes 1 until chromosome 22. So when a disease is caused by a dominant allele of a gene, or when a trait is influenced by a dominant allele of a gene, every person with that allele will show symptoms of the disease. You tahulah, kalau dia ada satu dominant allele, kalau trait itu adalah dominant atau disease itu adalah dominant, dan kalau dia ada satu saja allele, dia ada satu dominant allele tu, and then that person akan tunjuk traits tu, akan tunjuk tunjuk symptom of the disease, right? So you only need one allele for you to be affected, or for you to have that trait. Now, one example of autosomal trait is that earlobe. Sama ada you ada cuping or you tak ada cuping. Now, can you guess which one is the dominant feature? So this one is dominant over this one. So this is recessive. Okay. So you only need one allele of this gene for you to have cuping telinga lah. If you tak ada cuping, maksudnya dia ada 2 allele recessive for that gene. Now, apa karakteristik that you can see in autosomal dominant pattern of inheritance? As you can see, if it's dominant, it appears in every single generation. Okay, so ada equal, it does not skip generations. Okay, itu adalah karakteristik dominance inheritance, right? Affected offspring must have an affected parent unless they possess a new mutation. So this is offspring. Kita dah belajar kan, second generation ni offspring, yang ni adalah parental, yang ni ada F1, generation kedua, ini adalah generation ketiga. So ini adalah offspring. Kalau you tengok ini adalah offspring dia, kalau you pergi dekat parents dia, okay, parents dia mesti ada, one of the parents mesti ada gene tu. Now kita tengok kat family ni pula tengok anak dia dua-dua ada. So anak dia dua-dua ada. So kalau kita trace balik, tengok one of the parent mesti ada that trait. So dalam dominant inheritance, anak dia mesti dapat this trait daripada salah satu parent. Okay, so bila you buat, when you do analysis of pedigree, you have to look into this thing. You kena tengok, sebab dia takkan bagi tahu you apa genotype of this person. Okay, contoh dia kata, what is the genotype of I2? Okay, I2. So inilah I, pergi kat generasi 1 and then person number 2. Kalau dia tanya apa genotype 2 1, so dia tanya genotype this person. Faham ke? Okay, something like that. So kalau dia tanya genotype, so you kena tahu. So ni you tahu dia tak affected sebab dia tak ada colour hitam fill, black fill in the middle macam this affected people. So kalau dia tak ada, maksudnya this person dia adalah recessive. Maksudnya dia tak ada cuping telinga macam tu. And then dia tak ada cuping telinga. Kalau dia tak ada cuping telinga, maksudnya let's say kalau cuping telinga tu D kecil lah. So ni pun D kecil. Now this person dia affected, but we don't know whether dia adalah homozygous dominant atau dia adalah heterozygous. So kita kena slash dia macam ni sebab kita tak sure. And then kita kena tengok anak dia pula. Anak dia, nampak tak, anak dia possible untuk ada dapat D kecil. D kecil. Satu D kecil mesti datang daripada one of the parent. Lagi satu mesti datang daripada satu parent. So we know it's not homozygous dominant sebab dia kena bagi satu D kecil recessive allele kepada salah seorang anak dia. Right? So bila dia bagi salah satu D kecil tu, okay, I'm gonna padam ni. Kan? Tadi we were talking about whether this person is homozygous dominant. Oops, sorry, not this one. Or heterozygous. This person we know is homozygous recessive. So, and then macam mana kita nak tahu is homozygous dominant or heterozygous? Kita kena tengok anak-anak dia. So, anak dia seorang, this one. And then we have this kid, also anak dia. And then this person is also anak dia. But then this anak is recessive. This one we don't know yet. Could be homozygous dominant, could be heterozygous. So how do we know this one? So tengoklah, kalau anak boleh dapat salah satu alil daripada mak, sebab this one dia akan bagi satu je. Okay, this person kalau dia bagi D besar dekat anak yang ni, tak bolehlah dapat D kecil kat sini, mesti D besar juga. So tapi that is not the case. So dia dapat D kecil. So untuk dia bagi D kecil, dia sendiri mesti ada recessive allele, dia mesti ada D kecil ni. So it's not homozygous dominant. This parent is actually a carrier. Okay, walaupun dia gelap kan, like I said in the previous video, the question won't tell you whether the person is a carrier or not. You have to deduce it by analysing the pedigree. So this is what you do. This is how you analyse a pedigree. Alright, so you now know that this mom is actually heterozygous for that gene. Okay, that's why dia boleh bagi one recessive allele to this daughter. And then this one dia adalah affected sebab apa? Dia mesti dapat D kecil daripada mak dia. Mak dia tak ada D besar. So dia adalah heterozygous. Sama lah, it's the same for this thing. These people, they are all heterozygous for this gene. Okay, so again, this sentence here refer to the situation a single copy of an allele is sufficient to cause the expression of that trait. So this is a dominant characteristic, meaning that trait is you just need one allele of that trait to have that to have that phenotype lah. Wish. Oops. Okay. Now, we were talking about how it doesn't skip generation. Another thing is that male and female, they are equally affected, and affected person has at least 50% of chance to transmit the dominant allele to each ring. Okay, so 50% lah, sebab ada 50% chances anak dia akan dapat D kecil atau dan ada 50% lagi untuk dia dapat allele dominant. Okay, 50% chances to transmit tu dia punya. Macam anak dia yang ni, anak dia dapat, this mom dia kahwin dengan a person yang homozygous recessive kan. So dia actually this kid dia dapat 50% dominant allele ni. Sebab lagi sebelah lagi yang satu kecil tu dia rumah, 50% lagi datang pada mak pula. Right? Okay. Now, these are examples of disease that is autosomal dominant. Progeria is caused by a mutation in which the person actually ages very rapidly. This is something like macam if you tengok cerita Benjamin Button, daripada dia muka macam bila dia lahir muka nampak macam orang tua, tapi makin dia meningkat usia dia makin macam muda. Tapi itu adalah cerita Benjamin Button. Untuk progeria pula, dia adalah muda tapi dia punya features luaran dia nampak macam orang tua. Okay, you can google this progeria to see how it looks like lah. Okay, and we had
How's your day going?
Huntington's disease is where your central nervous system actually breaks down when you reach 30 years old. Okay, so you have to understand or remember the kind of example of diseases that can be caused by under this autosomal, that actually exhibit this autosomal dominant inheritance.